Don't want to miss that. Dondolare, what is the hot build?
Was machst du?
Oh, should I explain it, Quberte, or should you explain it?
Well, you do go into painstakingly, you know,
You can do a quick
detailed descriptions. So I think you're the best person to handle the job.
Well, that's actually pretty funny because I don't know like the full specific of this build, but I mean you can say the important parts is that you go Tree of Life as your first building as elf. You keep 2 wisps, I think, in gold mine, so you get more. You get a wood enough, and then you go Tree of Life first, and then altar, then Moonwell, so you get the Fire Lord first. Basically.
Well, what I'm confused about is I thought it was Moonwell. Because if you don't make a Moonwell, you're stuck at 10 food. You know what I mean? Like, why would you make the altar so early? Because even when it's done...
Won't the Tree of Life be done by that time?
Well, not really. I mean, Starshaped is already going to be supply blocked, like, right now, basically. And when you make a Tavern Hero build, I feel like you never make the altar first anyway.
That is true. I actually don't know like the full perfect build order. Let's see. Toxie writes it in chat. It's tree, altar, AoE, shop, Moonwell. Did altar and the tree finish at the same time and you get hero from it? I mean, because you have to think also that the tavern hero is not the same time as the normal hero would be available, right? So it's going to be enough food when the Fire Lord appears. That's also why I did the shop cancel to get 11 wisps out.
Is there any way to make this a little bit more tight? Because we can see that Shaped was actually stuck, like he was supply blocked for a while. And the hero was available to purchase from the tavern for a few seconds as well. So maybe not super refined. We'll have to go watch good old Hawk.
I can give you some inside information, Mr. Quberte. In an earlier edition of me and Warcraft, like before we did a lot of the feedback, we suggested making Tree of Life cost 10 wood less. So this build will get more streamlined, basically.
Damn.
But we removed it because technical, and I don't think it's very impactful, and people would go berserk for making Tree of Life cheaper in general, I think. So
make it cheaper and keep all the proposed Fire Lord buffs so that we only have Hot build as the viable build for Elf. I think that's reasonable.
Yes. That was the whole idea, basically. Force Elf into playing one build, and it's a Hot.
Isn't it crazy that this level 2 Paladin, who just has a ring and Devotion Aura level 1, already has 11 armor?
It is.
That just looks absurd to see that, right? Immediate 40% damage reduction. And we do kind of comment on this damage reduction a lot. But if I'm not mistaken, as a dear friend explained before, each point of armor actually gives the same amount of effective health.
It does, yes.
So technically this Paladin has 66% increased effective health. Rather than 40% less damage taken.
Well, now he got the Blurring +3, so now he has 100% extra. Or not 100%, sorry, 10 times 6. Yeah, 60%.
Come on, Dondolare.
Well, it's been a long week and all the numbers.
Okay.
I'm not an actual mathematician as Toxie and Warcraft. I'm just like a fake mathematician in the fact that I'm an economist, and they can't do math.
Are you also fake smart?
I am also what? Fake smart? Well, apparently, since I couldn't hear you. Well, I mean, it's interesting this, like, cause he is kind of going what you usually would think is like good counter to Pal Rifle, is that you can be very greedy in your expo attempts, right, against Pal Rifle, because you don't have that early game push power that you can with the Archmage or MK. So it kind of does. This build kind of does the same as you would with going Super Lame or going Lich Expo or Dreadlord maybe Expo, which is I think more powerful against Pal Rifle, with Night Elf by going this Fire Lord build. But it's still a Fire Lord with archers when this push arrives, which is now. So
yeah, but only 4 rifles for Lemes actually. It's not the most intimidating force in the world.
And what spell does the Fire Lord have that is useful here?
Incinerate.
Incinerate, I guess, yeah. Just for the ramping damage.
I would kind of guess Soulburn, no?
No, Incinerate it is.
Actually, Shaped here letting his tree take a beating here, but I think that's kind of acceptable. I need to see that Incinerate action right now. Wait, this is level 2 Incinerate.
Yep.
But did he go Incinerate Soulburn? No, he got Lava Spawn.
Yeah, of course. So it spawns in level 2 Incinerate. The damage is crazy, by the way. The ramping damage becomes completely nuts.
Yeah.
But I don't think attacking the Paladin is the play. I mean, he has 15 armor, for God's sake.
Yep.
I mean, this is not the game, I feel, that you try and go for this hero focus that can be good. But in this situation, I think is not particularly amazing. Nice trigger on the health stone there. Yeah, the Paladin, you're taking a bit more of a beating now, actually. The Incinerate stacks will definitely be building up. I wish we could tell how many there were. That'd be cool.
I feel like also Lemes did a lot of running with his rifles instead of shooting while the Paladin was getting targeted. So he didn't do a lot of counter damage. I mean, this looks super strong actually from Starshaped. He just countered the builds. Take notice, Nidals that play against the mess. Not the Demon Hunter, it's the Fire Lord.
Swag Lord for sure. Oh, look at the rifle just blowing up in a mist of golden fire. Well, not golden fire, kind of a brownish, yellowy fire, I guess. But looks solid.
My intuition was that I would go Soulburn to keep from the Holy Light, of course, but it doesn't matter if you just damage enough that you can just get the Pala away.
I think as well, the Soulburn debuff on heroes just doesn't last long enough. So I don't feel like it's a very effective silence. Maybe on level 2 it's acceptable, but I couldn't even tell you at the top of my head what the duration is.
I wanna mention something here that the mana pool of the Fire Lord, it's full.
Hasn't changed.
It doesn't change at all with Incinerate. We've seen him attack things for like a minute and a half, and there was still mana available. So that is clearly noticeable that Incinerate is a lot cheaper now.
If you watch very carefully with his current attack speed, he basically regenerates the 2 mana per swing by the time he can attack again. So the Incinerate is almost essentially free, and it's rather just how many spawns you use or how much mana gets drained that actually affects your total mana pool, which is kind of crazy. So 2 seems to be a bit of a break point here, where you actually essentially just have it always, as long as you have mana to spare, which is kind of insane. Now to hear a little bit exposed. I'm surprised Starship didn't buy a staff actually, though.
It's also the reason I think that, like, we had a patch earlier in this. I mean, we had time where Incinerate was free. Then it was obviously too strong. It became a bit of a meme. So that's also why certain people have suggested that the 2 mana might be a bit too low. Let's just say it like that.
Is that a point in one of your community balance proposals, Dondo?
Yeah, you know, there's some guys.
No way, dude.
There's some guys that have suggested that. I'm more humble than Quberte, so I won't say who, but some people might have done so.
Damn, shots fired, Dondo.
Well, I did try to take over Neo's stream earlier, so I think I kind of shot myself in the foot there for that proposition. This is an interesting back and forth there.
Yeah, I really dislike that Starship went for the Paladin focus fire so much, though.
Gonna get the blood mesh though.
Oh, the Incinerate even finished it off. Sick.
And that Fire Lord survived with 1 rifle shot, basically.
Man, the rifles really do not kill archers very fast, do they?
No,
like,
but also archers do very little against those rifles with plus 3 armor, of course, so it goes both ways, I guess.
Also, this priest is out healing like 7 archers. Focusing the Paladin.
The Pala has 15 armor now, so he has a 50% damage reduction with hero armor, so it will be a pretty tough boy to kill with archers.
Yeah, I think Starshaped here actually maybe in a little bit of trouble. Obviously, he's having fun with this build, which I think is quite decent. But just focusing the Paladin all the time, I mean, this just isn't going to work when the Paladin is this tanky.
No.
We don't even see Devotion 2 yet, so it might be, Divine Shield, there we go.
Oh, he did Divine Shield, okay. Yeah, it makes sense given the situation, of course.
Yeah, just even more of a deterrent, actually, for Starship to focus the hero. Blood Mage is back, who is level 1, of course, and the great thing about Blood Mage is if he dies and comes back, he's still incredibly useful.
MGs is pretty cool here, actually. I mean, well, they don't do a lot of damage, of course, but you're also, like, pretty unkillable with piercing damage. And now...
Oh, absolutely.
And Starship is probably getting pretty close here to triple orb, no? Or he's gonna go 2 orbs in Incinerate.
Well, I'm a little bit confused right now because I thought that he did have an orb.
It did have an orb on the Naga.
It must have been on the Naga. Okay,
yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
If you keep incinerating with Fire Lords, you kind of don't need the orb as fast, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you wouldn't even want the orb on him at any point.
No.
I suppose.
This can still go badly for Lemes very faster. Oh, Firelord Starship. Oh, 10 HP. That feels super greedy with like how rifles attack to try to control like a 10 HP rifle attack cooldown.
Yeah,
that's
rifles
brave.
are not units you mess around with. Like their projectile is essentially instant. It isn't technically instant, but it's very, very, very fast. And at their attack range, it basically is instant. And you just never ever mess around with that. It's not like you can dodge a rifle projectile coming at you.
And the thing is, at this point, Lemes kind of needs to keep pushing, I think. Even like he has good hero advantage, he has rifle upgrades. If Starship get triple orb and several MGs, it's still extremely difficult for Lemes to deal with. So he needs to just keep on pushing. And Starship's hope has to be that he can keep like grinding down with orbs slowly but surely. Which it looks difficult still, but it's maybe not entirely impossible.
Starshaped here trying to buy a little bit of time for Harden's get to come online, of course, an absolutely crucial upgrade for Men and Giants.
It is online now.
Which he now has. Lemes behind us, though, is teching to tier 3. Kind of curious as to what he's going to build. I feel like you kind of almost need to go Knights at this point.
You kind of need to, but you also don't have any upgrades on them. And
yeah.
You won't have inner fire. We can have inner fire, but you won't have inner fire with mana to do much with it. So yeah, I mean, Starship helped now, and held now, and this is gonna get super uncomfortable for Lemes, I think.
I think the one thing going for Lemes is Starship's heroes are pretty lackluster at the moment, but of course, double Orb of Venom does do its thing. The Knight with True Shot and 2 good items here, actually doing a ton of damage already on level 1. And she's already a fantastic hero on level 1.
Oh, now Soulburn as well, so now, yeah.
Soulburn coming to play here, cool to see as well. Yeah, it's just kind of awkward to take engagements right now for Lemes against this sort of army that Starship is building towards. It feels like even just the 1 MG is pretty impactful while the Orbs of Venom do their thing. Oh, the shop was killed actually, so yeah, Starship couldn't build any more MGs for the time being. And Lemes, he is currently supply blocked, so we don't really know what he is going to be doing, whether there'll be Knights joining us or some other strategy in mind.
Are we go for a 3rd hero? What could that even be?
Yeah, the same thought crossed my mind actually. I was like, oh, could you go for a 3rd hero? But I feel like you're just delaying your own power spikes of being level 5 and 3 or 4 on the Blood Mage, so... like, what would you take?
I think a Pitlord could be great, but
you
can't heal it.
I was thinking of Pitlord as well with the Howl, but you can't heal it. Archmage for Brilliant Sora and just keep him in the back and go Blizzard if he gets level 2, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe Alki Healing Spray?
Yeah, Healing Spray as well. Though, this is more focus fire than, I guess, like, spread out damage.
Yeah. True. True. Yeah, it's not like Acid Bomb does too much either, unless it's high level against the Archer backline. I'm not too sure, honestly. There's so many creeps left on the map, though, so I feel like you could take any hero that wouldn't really normally fit into this comp and just creep it to 3.
Going
like
for MK, actually.
Of course, with Bash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Bash level 1 incoming, please.
It's like, if there's one army, it's gonna get hard to get in range with Bash against this MGs with triple orb and archers behind it, but would be brave. Oh, 2, well, at least one rifle. The 2 rifles going down, probably.
Yeah, catching the rifleman here, not ideal for Lemes. It is Bolton level 1 Satch, but obviously completely understandable. Soulburn coming out again, though, and the Blood Mage focus fire. Oh, the Blood Mage. Fort Lightning. Oh, there was no Fort Lightning there cast on the banished Blood Mage. That could have taken it out, actually. Of course, with that 1.66 times multiplier on magic damage.
I did get someone in my DMs, I can say, after me and Mia streamed the other day that said, how did orb stacking not get targeted, bro?
I know who that was.
So
yeah, I can think as well.
We can see that triple orbs are, and we already know this, super powerful. They do a lot of damage very fast.
It is a big gold commitment though, right? 975 gold.
Yeah, it is. And also, we talked about this, it's not entirely certain you can do that much with it, because poison stacking is just something that is hard-coded into the game, apparently.
Yeah, or all maybe. Poison stacks, if it's the same kind of poison, so... Although saying that... No, yes. They only stack if you apply the same type of poison.
Yes.
But still, yeah, I don't think that can be fixed. Maybe something can be done on Blizzard's end. Obviously, it would require their input there to change something fundamental about the probably quite weird code that was used to code the game back when computers were potatoes.
I mean, you could theoretically, this is what I learned yesterday, you could copy the Orb of Lightning and give him a new ability that is relatively easy, and then you just give him some sort of damage over time ability instead of poison.
Okay. But it kind of removes the whole... Well, I mean, you can still call it an Orb of Venom, even though it's not Venom damage.
Yeah.
I mean, people that are very into lore might get a bit mad, but... Probably not that problematic.
Then call it...
Orb of damage over time.
Yeah, that's great. Orb of damage over time. The O-Dot.
You see, this is what people are obsessed with. Tweaking numbers should not be the creative masters of anything. This is like my input. Call it orb damage over time.
You are a creative genius.
Indeed.
Well, these knights here are
for
really
Starshaped
not doing
now.
much.
No, I still think it looks... Because, well, we'll see. He has decent hero focus with the rifle style as well, so both ways.
It does go both ways. I mean, Starshaped just has to counter hero focus as well. We can actually see the Venom damage also gets amplified by Banish, so it gets pretty nuts actually. The triple orb and then banishing yourself, you actually start taking a huge amount of damage. That MK there just pretty much evaporates, but he's level 1. Acceptable losses. The Starshaped here is definitely stabilizing. He managed to get an expansion back up again. He has this kind of ultimate, I would say, army composition against riflemen, especially, of course, who are not very good against MGs. For Starshaped, he's lacking some attack upgrades for sure on these archers. Kind of need level 2 true shot as well to really take off. But for now, he can still skirmish very well. The human here needs to, keep the staff on those reserved for those knights as much as possible. Nice bit of banished micro as well from the mist, like that. Ooh, a little bit here, focus onto the Firelord here. Oh man, nice save last second, but that Zeppelin might go crashing down. Oh, playing on the knife's edge here. This Starship here with the Zeppelin and the hero, but yeah, Lemes
I feel you see here that Starships or this strategy, how it the Pal rifle, how it has weaknesses, I mean, against a specific kind of play, because you don't have workshops, which you probably would have strategically, like normally if you go standard and you get tier 3, and then you get gyros or flying machines, as they're called properly, to kill the Zeppelins, and you would more likely have upgrades on your knights if you go standard, right? You go maybe 1+ rifles, and then you go into arm upgrades for breakers or into knights later. So it's very hard to tech switch when you go the Pal rifle style. Usually, the only tech switch that is obvious is the Griffin path, which would of course do nothing against triple orb mass archers. So yes, difficult for Lemes to get this tech switch working properly, because you need so much wood and resources to get their knights upgrades. So good play by Starshaped, even though it was super close that he almost died at one point there.
Yeah, I think Lemes here going for the priest is maybe a bit of a mistake. I feel like they don't really do so much. In my humble opinion, maybe he could have gone full Scotland, add the mortar teams, the dwarves, you know. Overall would have been more helpful, perhaps, with a couple knights thrown in, might have done the trick. The priests, yeah, they're helpful, but they run out of mana so easily, and you know, Lemes had to make like 6 of them, which is kind of dead food, a little bit.
Specifically, especially when he did go for the MK third, which was understandable, but that also removes you from any opportunity for Brilliance Aura, and then like Inner Fire will never properly come into play because we'll never have enough mana for it. So
yeah, I think if Lemes sticks with the idea of making Sanctum, which is understandable because it always feels bad to play without Priest as human, for the most part, then maybe Archmage third would be the play. Obviously he's the expert here, but I feel like the MK hasn't brought too much to the table and feels, especially right now, really bad on level 1.
Yeah, you can see how little experience he's gained, right? Since he got in, he's only gained 60 experience, and it feels like there's been a lot of units lost on both sides since. But yeah, usually he gets staffed out very early in the fight, so he
Precisely.
doesn't have any opportunity to earn experience.
Yeah, but even the Paladin hasn't hit level 5 yet.
Indeed, it's been a few kills, and the few kills have been on low XP archers.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, we still don't have master training either for these priests. Obviously, Lemes with the counter expansion. Kind of struggling to get his wood economy online. It feels like we really need Inner Fire to be able to stand in the face of all these projectiles that are coming towards the knights. Yeah, this is kind of a tricky engagement here. However, the MG's kind of getting stuck in the back just on A move. Classic elf things. And they're taking out a couple of priests, but in the meantime, Lemes is just charging forward and taking out some units.
Indeed.
I think now this is maybe the time to skill Aura level 2 on this level 5 Paladin, as janky as it sounds.
You had the same dynamic in, I feel like, several of these fights now, where basically the fight starts and looks super bad for Lemes, because things are just hitting mountain giants and the orb is just stacking quite a lot. And then Lemes just runs past MGs, and then of course the archers are super fragile. And the heroes are pretty fragile as well, of course, with the rifle. I mean, the rifles still have good damage output. So, like, it does go a lot of back and forth. Now it's like, because now it suddenly looks super good for Lemes again. Even though a lot of stuff is low,
for a short moment here, because look at these rifles.
Oof.
Man, the taunts coming out in the Orb of Venom. Just, the thing is, the Orbs of Venom, over time, when you have 3 of them, are just whittling down your army's HP. And that's why I was thinking Alchemist would be a good pick as well, because you do kind of start taking a lot of damage everywhere. Because your armies are just moved into the other.
Two priests dying.
Oh, that one's probably dead as well. Yeah.
All the human things, Kappa.
Yeah, priests also on A move, just getting stuck healing each other is always a big feels bad, man.
It always feels super bad in these fights when you start like focusing MGs in the hope that you can kill one, and you know it's gonna get staffed. you just know with your whole might it's gonna get staffed. But still, you try to. You have like this 1% hope. This time it won't happen. He won't staff it out. It's probably on cooldown. It's never on cooldown, Quberte.
I mean, you can argue that it's the same with knights, with some
knights
upgrades.
Are proper Neo. It doesn't matter. Don't think about.
That's some That's some Humba propaganda, Dondo.
Why are you mixing other stuff into this, Neo? Let's keep this argument clean. No,
okay.
It is true. Though, I mean, of course, the knights are pretty weak as well, and they don't have upgrades against orb stacking specifically. But, yeah. I mean, my point was that when you start bolting MGs, it always feels bad. You're either super far ahead or you're super desperate. It's usually the ways I would look at that situation. Again, but it's still back and forth. It's really hard to call how this game actually looks. Of course, if it gets
looking a little bit more obvious.
You think it looks very good for Starshaped, I would guess?
Yeah, Starshaped is definitely taking control of this game here. The human is completely out of mana on all heroes. All priests are out of mana. The army is dwindled significantly. 3 knights are good, but we still have 4 MGs. All the archers in the back here with 2 attack upgrades finally. The orbs raining down. I think Starshaped is going to be able to kind of whittle this human army down over time. Though Lemes, you know, he is doing the right thing. He is trying to get to that back line. But in the meantime, you just take pot shots from everything.
Yes.
And, you know, you don't have a movement speed aura, so everything is just getting caught up on and hit all the time. MK just gets absolutely blown up here. Gold staff's actually on cooldown for Lemes, so he couldn't really do much about that. And yeah, Shaped. I feel like he could just maybe transition to something else or start really pumping out units.
It couldn't he just go Dryads instead of Archers at this point?
I think
there's not that many priests
the Dryads they die too easily though against the rifles, and they're just less DPS'd than the Archers, which he has upgrades for.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, this is like I feel like a lot of human players have played not necessarily Pala Rifle, of course, against Night Elf, but this version of the game where you just have solely blood out.
Oh, the Blood Mage died to the Soulburn tick.
After after getting staffed actually? Was that after before he got staffed? I didn't see. It looked like the same time. Yeah, but I mean, anyways, this looks over now. Like, yeah. It's down to 49 food. It's over.
Holy.
GG.
GG!
GG! That was like 22 minutes of pure straight up fighting.
It was.
Yeah.
Like none of the outskirts creep spots was finished. I look at this two consumer obviously the red spots are still available, the expansions are still available, the shops were still available. Just the middle was creeped in this game. Otherwise it was just brawling. And this could even be more optimized from both sides, I guess. Now the question, do we want more games like this with constant tug of war and nothing dies for a long time?
I'm not sure. But it was definitely cool to watch. It was definitely cool to watch this game in isolation as it is, with this beautiful PTR that we've been given by the Blizzard janitors. But would I want to see this every game? No, but I don't think it would happen every game, regardless. I think, you know, Archmage expansion is still too commonplace. Firelord may prove to not be like completely viable on his own all the time. But that was damn cool.
I would think this would be pretty weak against MK first openings as well, which is more common these days. So it depends a bit. Of course, you can get a bit wonky with Soulburn, and you can maybe keep the MK is a bit weaker against Lava Spawns. But in general, I would just fear for a level 3 MK chasing that Firelord down quite easily. So yeah, I mean, we have to keep in mind that Pal Rifle was never a coherent meta strat against Night Elf. So the fact that we see Night Elf strats working good against it should maybe not be that surprising. So it might be the other way around, actually, that Pal Rifle worked better against the hot strategy than it usually we're used to because of Divine Aura.
Divine
not
Aura.
Divine Aura. I keep doing that. I did that 1 week ago as well. It's not called that. It's called Devotion Aura.
Quberte
Which game
up.
name are we going for? Which game name is it?
What might come after Lemes 2?
Yeah, sorry. 3.
There we go. Thanks. All right, now we can nerd about strategies again. Just had to get our
I have
slow jack in the mix.
Starshaped will do the exact same thing. I mean, he will, right?
I think so too. And I'd like to see that and both know what they're up against and now they start to fine-tune things.
True. I hope so. It's kind of interesting because Lemes is more successful with Pal Rifle against Night Elf than I think any other human has been, probably more or less ever. But he probably also has never faced a lot of the hot build. Because nobody does that anymore.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. So how much can he learn from one game? I'm not sure. I think what you saw is that he has to try to make the game not go into that. Like when he gets the triple orb, it's so hard with that composition. So either you have to like preemptively go for night upgrades and be like a little bit less aggressive with the rifle opening, and try to you have to go to T3, maybe get expo instead of full pushing, or you have to just go for a full Davai push and just finish the game before triple orbs are online. I think that's his two main options, would be my intuition at least.
To be fair, Lemes was really close to closing out that last game. The expo was dead. There was only one MG available. Lemes was taking tier 3 behind. I think everything was looking pretty fine and dandy. Maybe he just needed to go back and creep and stop pushing. Even though the game would go later, he could maybe have gotten more levels. And instead of Banish, we could have seen perhaps Flame Strike. And then with the Archmage 3rd, we could have seen Blizzard and Aura.
Yeah,
to at least have something to do with the backline, which is great too, because obviously the MG taunt doesn't prevent your channeling spells from being casted. So you would be able to still keep throwing down the spells on the backline. And I think that was kind of what was needed. There just wasn't enough damage in the human army.
Yeah.
The human army.
And it makes it like even just the fact that Night Elf has to keep moving stuff just makes it a bit more messy in the micro department for Night Elf. And it's like it decreases everything. The odds for the Night Elf missing a staff, stuff like that is very important in like these game start, because you actually have a few very tanky units and everything else is super fragile. All the heroes are super fragile, and then archers, of course, are super fragile as well.
Oh, Starshaped is here. I was worried that he leaves mid-series again to do laundry, and that has happened before, twice. But no, he's there. God, imagine you tell that to somebody playing TI. Yeah, sorry, gotta leave my hotel room. I gotta iron my shirt.
Imagine telling that to Happy in the middle of a best of 7.
Oh man.
I know the response.
Yeah.
It's ... It definitely ... Oh yeah, it depends could also be right.
Depends.
I would guess also maybe with a quick follow-up DM to the admins if this is allowed or not.
I mean, he got 5 minutes. Depends on how
true.
much laundry there is to do, I guess. It depends on...
I must state that again.
We are somewhat shockingly seeing the same build orders. We're going the hot build here as well.
SK hot!
And pal rifles from Lemes.
I want to see just how much gold this actually costs the elf to do this opener, and Starshaped is 220 gold behind his opponent.
Indeed.
From pulling off all the wisps at the start. So this build doesn't come without costs. It's tricky to get your initial buildings online. Obviously, the Tree of Life comes up quickly because you sacrifice everything to get it, but then from that point onwards, getting the altar takes time, then you need to wait for 40 wood to get the moon well, and you know, it's quite a cumbersome opener. In the meantime, Lemes here, I've watched a couple of his replays actually, when I was helping coach somebody play some power rifle. And he has a really nice build order with power rifles. It's so refined. The timing is super crisp. Yeah, so if anyone wants to play power rifle, definitely watch good old Lemes, because his build is really good. And yeah, Starshaped here, I want to see if his build is maybe slightly tighter this time. He spent quite a bit of time supply blocked, couldn't buy the Firelord straight away, etc. Probably a build order that's very tricky to just wing out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah.
But maybe that's the build how it's meant to be played. I don't know. Maybe you actually can't make it any better.
No, I think Toxie said earlier that he's doing it correctly, and I would trust Toxie on these kind of issues or themes.
Yeah,
He's a perfectionist, I would say, on these kinds of things. So probably just, I mean, it is not a perfectly optimized build, but it is also a build that is very hard to like fit into the normal parameters of an opening in the game. So it makes sense that it's a bit wonky. I kind of have to square peg and round holes in that. But yeah, it's not too bad though. Still a pretty
really
early
nice
expo for an idle player, I would say.
Incredibly early, and Lemes here I noticed he triggered the lightning shield perfectly in the rifleman here. Beautiful to see. And yeah, Firelord, he's just amazing at creeping any camp, really. Like, lava spawns are just, in terms of stats, they just output so much damage. And of course their ability to split as well. I mean, we see the split coming out already because it's still 9 seconds, 9 hits if I'm not mistaken, in this current patch. So there's already some multiplication here taking place, some osmosis of the fire of the lava spawns, and yeah, Starshaped, you're going to get that early expo once again.
Starship really didn't go lava spawns much though after like the very early game last game. Was that because he thought he was just going to get focused down too fast?
Maybe because he saw the priests and there was no real need. Oh my god, there's going to be 6 lava spawns already, guys.
Yeah.
The tree is taking a ton of damage, though. I don't really like that Starshaped didn't decide to repair it all. I don't think he was really anticipating. Oh man, this is going to be close, actually. Lemes here.
Lemes can't kill it, I think.
Oh, he needed the paladin to keep hitting.
Yeah.
Just trade all your HP and get it. Oh, wait.
Oh, we got it. Oh, what? I was sure it's not... Maybe, of course, the regeneration from the tree just finished at some point there.
Oh my god, there's 8 lava spawns.
What the fuck?
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, he found the crystal ball and scanned it and then rushed across.
Ah, of course.
Yes. That's actually really cool because with this build order you can't scout. So that actually enabled Lemes to go for a play. That's crazy.
Yeah, and of course Starship, as he's writing, he thought, or he probably remembered that usually means that the human is creeping the expo. With orb. I didn't think that I was on level 2, right? So
read the patch notes, guys.
Read the patch notes. Wow. So we just saw accidental mind games like self-debating with the crystal ball change and the crystal ball being unironically good at the start here against this opener from Starshaped.
But I have to say, in general, like beyond that move, which of course makes the game very difficult for Starshaped, those 8 lava spawns really scared me.
Yep.
That scared me.
Yep.
That's so much DPS and the creeping power. I mean, Starshaped just moved on from like what is a pretty difficult expo camp first into one of the most annoying camps, the laboratory on Shallow Grave.
Yeah.
And you can just take over everything, and like he's just leaving Incinerate on.
Yes.
To creep, because it speeds up the creeping, and it hardly even costs the hero mana. But this is going to be a different kind of game now. Starshaped, I think, is actually a bit of danger, given that he doesn't have the early expansion advantage.
I want to ask you something about lava spawns. I'm not an expert on lava spawns, but isn't currently the maximum amount of lava spawns you can get 6? Because they expire too fast before they can split again.
Yeah, it will never be more than 6. Now it will be, I think, max 8 or 12 or something. I can't remember. Somebody did some math on it, and it was pretty...
8 or 10, right?
8 or 10, I think. Yeah, that's true.
That is insane.
That is
it's pretty crazy.
That is something you would say is too strong.
Look, there's still 4 of them right now. Oh man, healing wards as well. And the back of this is just crazy good against Militia. Incinerate is also good against Militia because they tend to bunch up, and then of course Incinerate gets the explosion proc. And it does pretty good damage in an AoE as well. Oh, the Messi with kind of a bad TP, TPing way too safe at the back. Well, in front of his base instead of the back of his base, and you know, more Militia lives will pay the price. Unfortunately for him, lava spawns do feed a lot of experience. That cannot be underestimated. Lemes already more than a third of the way to level 2, halfway to level 2 already.
Yeah, I mean, this game still looks super rough for Starship. He lost his Hunter Soul as well, so it's still trying to re-expo. He's down to 20 food. He has a Fire Lord at level 4. It's like his only hope. But yeah, I mean, it was actually pretty. He also down to his 7 peasants, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So Lemes is not gonna have a lot of lumber. Luckily, it's not like a super demanding build in that regard. He is going for, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this is what Starship needs to do the rest of the game if he can. Just move into the base, rinse and repeat.
We see him swagging his way on over, but Lemes knows what's coming and just makes his way across the map too. Gonna get another cancel, pretty crucially so at about 80% completion on that tree there. Beastmaster second, I think just being thrown in the mix for some fun, because I'm sure Starshaped understands that he's definitely at the disadvantage right now in this particular game.
It's interesting to see Lemes keeping the Blood Mage back so he can try to drain as much mana as possible before the heroes arrive, but yeah, I mean, he canceled the expo, but Starship will be able to get to you 3 here, I think. Like, it's very hard for the Mess to find an actual timing where he can just go... I mean, he has to go maybe for a base trade then, which is very scary, I would say, in general against Elf. So... yeah. Not super easy, actually, for the Mess to deal with. The only... Like, if he gets some towers up, he will be fine, but they need some time to get built, so... Otherwise, and meanwhile, Starship can just keep on laming as much as he can.
Yeah, I guess that's why the Beastmaster's a good choice here. The bears are nice and tanky. They don't die very easily against Militia. He needs to buy space, but decides to call the GG. I think that's fair.
It's fair. Definitely. After losing your 3 life when that's your first building, it's usually pretty rough. You can say. Yeah. But those lava spawns is like, yes, it's now wrapped really into my mind as like a very scary thing in certain situations. I still fear a lot for how tower rushes and just pushes in general work with this lava spawn, right?
Yeah, I have a notepad up to take notes after every game, what we learned from the game. First one was maybe Devotion Aura is still too strong. Then we saw lava spawns too strong, or they split too fast. Now we saw they split definitely too often, and Incinerate doesn't cost mana. So yeah, lessons to be learned here.
Guys, why is the game name not Lemes 4?
I don't know. Why
they're not going for symmetry, because they didn't start on Lemes 1, I think. So they just repeated the last one too. No, it's 3.
What? Why? Oh man. See how hard the life of a broadcaster is?
Yeah, Neo, this is bad. I need to just be a part-timer, you know. This is
unacceptable.
This is where the gig is at.
Yeah. Do you feel?
Do you feel the 2 mana passive? They say. Because I feel like it's on all the time. It doesn't regenerate mana, at least. But yeah, 2 is far. 2 is too strong.
It is. If you're gonna have a spell that, like, even if you then think Incinerative that the mana is more cost is still not good enough, then maybe you have to look at damage or something. You can have a spell that is self-sustainable. That makes no point. Just as a no reason, has no logic to it in my head at least. Because then it is practically a passive.
Yeah. Well,
Starshaped is still not so happy though, apparently.
No, he said, makes
beloved
me,
bottom.
Yeah, he said, makes me angry that Searing Arrow is still 8 mana. It's the dumbest orc on the dumbest hero. He's not having a good start into the weekend here. Lots of emotions over there in Sweden. Someone in chat says, come on, Devotion Aura level 2 was just 0.5 armor more than before PTR. How is that too strong? It starts with an entire armor point more on level 1 on everything. And then, of course, it scales and it's pretty strong. We are right. Yes. You are not. Back in your place. I shouldn't say too much. You guys can.
Disclaimer: Neo doesn't speak for the rest of the cast. Yes,
I do. You don't? Okay. I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do.
Good.
We're just here for free. We're not here for hire. We just work for free, so we have to be humble.
Correct. You're lucky that I don't let you pay me.
I do pay you, Neo. Do I have to remind you? I actually pay you.
True, you do pay me with a sub and a Patreon. Yes, learn that lesson, Quberte.
Oh, and a Patreon. Oh, so oh wait, so hold on. So my more than 3 years of subscribing to your damn channel isn't enough for you. I need to also be a Patreon.
I'm just suggesting things, you know, to improve your
financial well-being.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just be honest about it. There's no beating about the bush between us, boys.
You have to think more of other people's financial well-being, Quberte. Don't be that insanely focused on your own financial well-being.
I need to focus on my own.
It's rough for all of us.
Same builds, so same thing as we saw last games. Interesting, because this is not a map where you can go for Tree of Life snipe, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just going to waltz over and kill the tree. I think Starshaped also could have just prevented that from happening last game.
Of course.
A little bit too lazy with repair, like just thinking that he would eat the trees, you know, begin the tree cannibalization process and heal up to full. But no. Crystal Ball from the level 2 pool actually coming in clutch for Lemes. I mean, I'm genuinely astounded because I was saying last time on stream that Crystal Ball should just be removed because it's terrible.
It still can be removed.
Just been proven wrong. Just been proven wrong. No, I've been proven wrong completely, and I accept that.
Yeah, it worked because the other player didn't respond, even though he saw, because he didn't know the item level anymore, so he thought he couldn't get there in time, I guess. So it's hard to tell if that's transferable to the normal, quote-unquote, game where people know what game they're playing. It's not the case in this situation. Is there like a strategy here we can go creep the Expo with the Firelord and just go keep pressure on the human with your lava spawns after? If Lemes didn't go for the harass, I guess.
Yeah, if Lemes didn't go for the harass, but I actually kind of like this idea that he just sits at the Tree of Life and prevents it from rooting. The whole elf game plan is to get the tree rooted as quick as possible. And of course, the elf tech is not really the fastest here either, since you put so much early game investment into buildings. And Lemes, his tier 2 is already underway, and what's great is you can just creep up with militia, and if one of my suggestions were to go through, then maybe the orange would be a viable camp to take with militia in the future, Dondo?
So this is an unannounced Quberte suggestion, is to make this guy that throws his sword around in a nice
Anchor.
around the Sea Giant because it does AoE damage. Maybe it should not be that creep there because it has
Carson
a very
says fix
weird way of.
farms. I say
triggering.
fix Sea Giant. Neil, comments?
Dude, that thing spins against me every time I play ghouls. I hate that thing with a passion. But it's also kind of fun to have that creep. So I'm torn. I would sacrifice my own well-being for more variety on creeps on maps.
Dude, I can't count how many games where he's pulverized me 3 times in a row. And I'm just like, do I just GG out and start again?
Well, it's just karma because you're such a horrible human being.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Giannis.
Feisty there.
Giannis Jax.
I mean, we know how you behave when we're not on the air.
Is
Like
Starship
an
not
angel?
using lava spawns on purpose, by the way? This is
no,
weird.
I don't see any reason not to throw them out, to be honest.
Are they just
They'll
on
just sit in the
cooldown?
back. No.
So why is he not
No.
spawning them?
Maybe he doesn't want to feed the pally? I don't know.
I think you kind of need that damage here as the alpha a little bit.
There they are. Maybe it was on cooldown actually.
No, it wasn't.
It was
No.
I looked.
That was close, actually. The rifles are really, really good at stealing last hits as well, due to the nature of their projectile. Especially in this situation where they don't die very quick against the piercing of the archers. Here we go, 2 lava spawns on the go. It's just so funny to see these guys, you know. I love their animation. They're like, and then they just like split into another.
Now the
fresh
mess
lava spawn.
is facing a level Knight of Expo with a level 3 Firelord against level 1 Pala pretty soon.
Yeah.
So this like initial harassment might have been a good idea, but you do sacrifice quite a lot on it. And how's Starshaped's tech? It's gonna get tier 2 not that long until, so Lemes can't push until level 3, right? I don't think that's a possibility.
No way. Yeah, the thing is, what you've essentially done as the human player here is you've delayed your own leveling to deny your opponent's gold income. Pretty much is how this translates, because Starshape's tech wasn't affected. So Naga is still going to be coming out on time. Hunter's is slightly late, but then, you know, it's kind of expensive to afford the Naga anyway on tier 2 plus everything else. The Firelord can just keep creeping because you were on his side of the map trying to deny, you know, creeping and mining time, etc. So you're just playing catch up now as human, which isn't the easiest for Lemes right now. And these caps, you know, they don't die the fastest. They're quite spaced apart on Tidehunters, and a lot of them are medium armor, so the rifles are definitely not exceptional on this map, it has to be said.
They aren't, and I feel like I'm not sure. He has to have like a push timing here before tier 3 comes fully online, and it's not that far away. I think this will be very hard for the Lemes to find like a timing, because even if he finds a timing to kill the Expo, as he did in game 1, he still can die against the sustained orb damage after. But he's going for a, looks like he's going for a tier 2 Expo as a counterplay now, so that's different. Like one of the things I thought he could do, you either have to do full commit to killing now, and I guess he has read the game that he can't. Now he's going to try to probably expo and then go tier 3 and more knights and keep upgrading on them. Let's see. This is 1+ on rifles. We stop there. Okay.
Guys, I'm loving this 50 out of 50 supply for human right now. I don't know why. It just looks great and actually enables you to fit in another unit. And then just going for the expo to break
the
your
Firelord is
supply
actually close to running out of mana. Oh, is it? Well, no, he really isn't. Like I'm trying to see, like he goes down 7 to 5 and then 7 to 5. He's down, like he is very slowly losing mana, but it's super slow. So I don't think like even at level 3 he can't go out of mana with the current incinerate. Yeah,
well, I think you can, but it's just that in realistic scenarios you're probably not constantly attacking. You know, you close to can't go out of mana. I think at level 4 or 5 you actually can't go out of mana, probably. We can probably calculate that with his attack speed plus the intelligence, his mana regeneration rate due to gaining
I can kill it, and I will.
Good man, good man. You investigate first, Dondolare.
Or you can do a toxic if you're bored, but I will check after.
And then it's like, how many gloves of haste do we need to outspeed the mana cost of Incinerate?
Glove of haste stacking on the Fire Lord is the new meta strategy, boys.
Also boots Quethla slippers, because he is an agility hero as well, which is crazy weird.
Yes. He doesn't seem
like
super agile
as well. No, definitely not. The
Shadowhunter kind of seems agile though, so it fits that narrative. But Fire Lord just looks like a slow, clunky boy.
Yeah, for sure. So, Lemes, I think he's doing quite well in this particular game. Starshaped, he's not really that close to tier 3. Does have a ton of gold though, so lots of archers coming. MGs, there was actually a bear queued up, which was just a mistake apparently. And the mess, yeah, he kind of just has to continue pumping units really.
Well, I don't think he can actually properly break him. I think he needs to prepare for a tech switch into knights. I don't think you can ever win if he gets to MGs, right? Yeah. Rifles. Against triple orb.
Maybe Lemes feels like he can close it out, but he's sort of struggling to close it out, and now he's in low upkeep, which would make it very hard to go tier 3. So, Naga here getting a bit...
Oh, Naga dead.
Yeah, fumbly bumbly, as Carson would say.
That's the first hero loss, I think, for Starship this series, actually. I think.
His Naga fell in game 1 as well with the orb.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, with the... That's true. At level 1. Yes.
That's where I was confused. I was like, where did the orb go? Wasn't expecting it on the level 1 Naga.
Blood Mesh gets away, so yeah. The mess might be able to break him here, but yeah, still has gold though to buy all orbs and stuff. And now he doesn't have doesn't have wood to get his level this third hero out, so it won't be the same exact game for a while. Till we saw the first one.
Yeah. Well, one thing we need to note for Starship right now is his lumber economy is pretty much non-existent, which is kind of a problem. MG tech is not cheap to get online. Tri-Hero isn't cheap to get online. You know, you need marksmanship for the archers, which he doesn't even have at the moment. You need more Moonwells. So, yeah, Starship here, he's just going to have a ton of gold and not really able to, you know, get a substantial amount of supply, get the Tri-Hero, the upgrades, etc. Lemes here, everything he has is now cheap. You know, once you've got the expo down, you have all the buildings required. You just need to build farms and produce units, which are very cheap. Priests are only 10 wood, which is kind of crazy for a caster, and then rifles are only 30. So it's kind of easy just to pump them out. And tier 3 behind as well, which obviously is the right play.
Yeah, and only +1 on rifles, so you probably have more resources to be able to go into knight upgrades if you really needs them, which I think is important. Knight upgrades make knights a lot more powerful. Damage upgrades specifically is super strong. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, I think Lemes will be able to kill Expo here, probably, over time. It's kind of hard for Starship to juggle doing damage and repairing, but...
Yeah, it's really smart what Lemes is doing right now, just splitting the army off, using, you know, a rifle or a blood mage to tank the damage, heal it up, and have that firing squad on the side here just taking down the Tree of Life. Here comes the Wisp for repair. Might be too little too late though. The rifle's moving a little bit. One actually got caught by the taunt of the MG, so now there's only 4, but they've been set to kill those Wisps right now. So I think we can safely say the tree's going down. Naga gets sniped by the blood mage, who does have that +8 damage as well. Pretty substantial.
Yeah, that hero loss is probably one too many, maybe, because now the third hero will be stuck in queue. No, it's actually getting out now, but the level 2nd hero will be stuck in queue, I guess. Though you have the same problem. It's hard to get to the archers, and the MGs just makes it so you can keep doing poke damage with archers and Firelord. 0 through archers so far without marksmanship, so not the most powerful, but still do some trickle damage. Yep. And the orb keeps... how much is the orb damage a hit? Is it like 50 or 60 or something? Because of the when the orb is stuck.
No, the calculation, that's just if you let the whole poison run.
Yeah,
fill duration, is 9 damage per second, and of course 5 flat added physical per strike.
So, but I mean, but every time you hit and rifle it doesn't get healed, right? It will eventually heal down around.
It will take 59 damage,
59
and then
damage.
you know, maybe 57, 58, depending on the physical damage production, because the +5 is not. It does get resisted by, or mitigated by armor, I should say.
Yeah, and now when it doesn't have priests, basically you have to think of then before you're healing, every single hit from an orb is that damage over time. So
Indeed.
It can get fragile pretty fast. It's going knights faster this time. Is he going in? He's
MK again though.
He's queuing rifle upgrades though. That's confusing to me. Maybe it feels like it's wrong as a principal PAL rifle player to actually do any upgrades than rifle upgrades.
I guess I understand that, but I think the logical thing is just to set down 2 barracks and just spam knights. They're just the best unit to make. Archmage again would be amazing with the priests. You don't need rifles here. They're just 1-0, so they're not particularly well upgraded already to begin with. I would understand if they were already like 2-1 or 2-2. Then you don't want to tech switch out because it's more costly in this game.
So it's going full Davai on that tree. Should be able to kill it, but it's gonna lose quite a lot in doing it.
0-0 non-marksmanship archers and the orbs still taking out like 3 rifles there.
And it's so... Doesn't Siren actually now hit even with orb?
No, you can't stack orb effects.
Well, you can stack 3 orbs of venoms on top of each other.
Yes, you can stack. Yeah, you can stack the same debuff, I suppose. Although not orb of corruption. When can I get my -12 armor, please?
Right? That's what I've been saying for years.
I think it's only fair.
So, but should Orb of Fire then make it so you
can't
do
heal.
33% times 3 to 99% heal from the
Yep.
kill? I think that would be nice.
Well, if you make it like additive, then it would multiplicative. It wouldn't be so bad then, right? Because
Yeah, 32
it'd be
times
35% less.
No,
3 times.
we're gonna make it additive. Don't worry, Quberte. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, if you make it 105% reduction, they actually gain 5% for some
Yes.
reason. The game just blows up. And it's like, okay, you actually
You kill
healed
your own unit by
5%.
coiling. I like that. It turns them from undead to human with 3 orbs of fire.
Basically.
It's kind of like how the proton packs and ghost persons work. Like nobody, it just does things to make magic. Now ghosts are gone. It'll be the same. It just makes undeads into human units. I like it. It's a concept.
Yes, Carafian, that's how it works. All poison stacks, so that's why Orb of Venom stacks.
Yes.
I mean, it's just fair, right? We turn human units into undead units all the time with possession, so humans should be able to do that as well.
Oh,
Man,
MK dead again?
MK
Or
just
does he have
feels,
stat?
this MK feels really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, the MK, he's a good
Oh,
frontline tank.
he killed Fire Lord though.
There's no prez,
Oh,
there's no prez. Yeah, GG, nice. Lemes
GG.
playing well.
Damn, guys, that was one hell of a round of 16. Constant fighting for such a long time. Firelord doing a lot of damage with lava spawns and incinerate early, but then kind of falls off, I guess. And Pally Rifles still hella strong and nothing dies all the time.